Listen, thank you all for coming out and joining us this afternoon to talk about a subject of great interest and broad implications impacting the global economy all the way down to small farms, ranches all across our country, down to the family dinner table. It's that broad a subject matter. Joining me here today are some folks with a very up close and personal understanding of these issues. Greg Dowd, who you hear shortly, who's at my immediate left, is an economist with the National Cattle Beef Association. And down on the end is Jim Swartner, who is President and CEO of Capital Land and Livestock Company in Texas. In the middle is Bill Roenick, who is the Senior Vice President of National Chicken Council. He's also their Chief Economist. I also want to acknowledge some folks that are sitting in the first couple of rows and standing back over against the wall that are also here to support the waiver that we're going to speak about here shortly, and that's the National Turkey Association is here, and it's the National Pork Producers, Grocery Manufacturers are here, the Bakers Association, the American Meat Institute, National Restaurant Association. List kind of goes on, but I'm going to stop right there. Let me just say that it is a very distinguished and broad-based group of supporters. It's been nearly 2 months ago that I submitted a letter to the EPA detailing my concerns over this renewable fuel standard and its mandate for corn-based ethanol production and the use thereof. And my perspective on the issue is shaped by growing up on a farm as the agriculture commissioner for the state of Texas. But most of all, it's from seeing this mandate's negative impact on the state that I have the great privilege to govern at this particular point in time. Texas is one of the country's largest food producers. Livestock and the industry that its impact accounts for roughly $75 billion of our economy. And 2/3 of our state's 149,000 cattle producers run fewer than 50 head of livestock, which means that this is the small family farm that's really being impacted from my perspective. Since the vast majority of feed products are corn-based, this artificial upward pressure on corn prices that's caused by the RFS has hit our livestock producers, I think, unreasonably hard. Across our state, cattle feeders, for instance, have been operating in the red since June of 2007, in a large part because of the escalating feed cost. Our largest agricultural companies are taking a hit as well. High feed prices have driven our state's largest independent pork producer out of business. Pilgrim's Pride, Smithville, both posted record losses this past year. Tyson's bonds were downgraded to junk. Some of our large companies may be able to weather this situation that we find ourselves in, but it's those small to medium-sized companies that I really have great concern about, and I don't know whether or not they're going to be able to survive the renewable fuel standard mandate. These smaller companies are facing some really tough times, and they're facing some even tougher questions. You know, how long can they continue to operate in the red? How long can they continue to go to the bank and asking them to extend credit when they see these types of pressures on their company? If these artificially high prices continue, the doors of many of our operations are going to start closing. And that will change the face of Texas agriculture forever. And I suspect that one, if not all three of these individuals will address what the future of America would look like, where we are dependent upon foreign sources of protein for our feed. If we don't see this mandate reversed, I think the result is going to be even higher food costs for families all over Texas and, for that matter, across this nation, around the world. That's why I asked for the 50% waiver of the corn-derived RFS mandate. In response, the EPA opened a comment period that just ended yesterday. As they begin their deliberations, we're here to reiterate our concerns and refocus the American people on this issue. Since our waiver request was put into place, corn prices have continued to climb, both as a result of the mandate's artificial demand, but also because of the tragedy that we see unfolding in the Midwest through today. And our hearts go out to those individuals in the Midwest because of the flooding, the loss of life, the damaged home, the destroyed croplands. We've seen those disasters in Texas, and they're very moving. And the impact of that damage is not just to the Midwest. Corn prices, which we thought were high in May at $5 a bushel, are now over $7 a bushel. That hits livestock producers, but it also has a negative impact on the competition for corn, and that's the ethanol producers. As fuel blenders are working to meet the requirements of the mandate, they could very well keep the price of corn going even higher, which will likely drive even more companies out of business while causing higher prices for the consumers. One way to stop this serious spiral is to take a simple, direct action, and that is cutting the mandate for corn-derived ethanol by at least 50%. While the mandate may have been a well-intentioned effort to move our country towards energy independence, it's